Welcome everybody. I had done a video a year back regarding the milk and cough. So this is basically a follow-up video for the same thing. Let's have the same discussion more in detail. A 20th century philosopher by the name Karl Popper, who had said that science must begin with myths and criticizing of those myths, which is utterly truth. Once there is a myth, you try cracking that, you go in depth, you investigate what's true and what's not true, and you get the ultimate truth. So during that phase, some of the new things will be discovered, and this is what exactly happened with the milk and mucus and cough related issues. Stay tuned. Nobody exactly knows when this myth originated, propagated, and became popular among the masses. But there has been some theories how this myth got propagated. For instance, Charaka, he's an Indian Ayurvedic philosopher and practitioner who in his book Charaka Samhita, in his 17th chapter, he mentions about milk and products causing cough and increasing kapha or the phlegm. And another person named Moses Maimonides, he is an Egyptian practitioner who in his treatise of asthma writes cheese and its products when consumed can increase phlegm. And the traditional Chinese books also mention the same thing about milk increasing the phlegm. And in 1946, an influential book was written by Dr. Spock Baby. Probably it's been sold by more than 50 million copies, and even such an influential book also mentions regarding the milk and cough and mucus, which says that milk products can increase it. That is the mammothness of the problem. Many a times we don't know whether it is a truth or not, but the issue exists in the community and we need to address that issue. Investigators started researching about this myth. To start with, they asked laymen regarding the milk and the associated myth. In a random study where they asked some Australian shopgoers regarding the milk and mucus, 50% of them agreed that milk increases the mucus and phlegm. The same was repeated in New Zealand study and in an American study. So all of them had a consistent saying that milk increases mucus, cough, and worsens asthma. Of course, the titles and the study methods all have been different, but this is what the entire base has been. Okay, coming to the issue of whether milk is absolutely needed or not. That's a debatable issue. Humans are the only species across the world to consume milk beyond their infancy or childhood. Most animals, including cows, don't consume milk. But having said that, in people who don't consume milk, or even in children, those who do not consume milk, their calcium levels are known to be low. Their bone density has been low, and the fracture rates have been higher in those persons who consume less milk, or rather calcium intake is very much coming from the milk and its sources. Okay, let's see the most contentious issue, the research. The first research started in USA in 1948 regarding the mucus and its myth. They divided people who consumed less than 5 glasses, 5 to 10 glasses, and more than 10 glasses of milk. And they asked whether was there any difference in the consumption of the quantity of milk and the mucus production. They examined the throat, got the amount of mucus there, and they found that there was no increase in mucus as such, whether you consume less than 5 glasses of milk or more than 10 glasses of milk. The quantity of mucus still remain the same. An Australian study was done where they challenged the persons with a virus which would cause cold. And over a period of 10 days, they reviewed and they asked, was there any difference? And majority of the people answered saying that they had more increased production, and that 80% of them believed it's mostly because of the milk consumption. But the fact here remained that it was the rhinovirus, or the virus which causes the cold and cough, was the cause and not the milk. There's a protein called as beta casomorphin 7, which is known to increase the production of mucus by acting in the small intestine. But a cold which increases the intestinal permeability and then allows the protein to go inside the colon, and then mucus producing through the lungs, seems less likely or less than probable. But in people who have cystic fibrosis, or a rare condition where the permeability of the intestines increases, there is a small possibility that milk consumption can cause mucus production in those kids, and that possibility is very, very less in general population. And another study was done. What do they feel when they consume milk? Majority of the people responded it's in the mouth, tongue and the throat. They said that it forms a lining, coats the entire area, and they need to swallow more. The fact is, whether you consume the cow's milk or soy milk, the result is the same. So more than the physical issue, it's the psychological issue which makes you feel that mucus production is more. Why does this milk actually make you feel so? Whether you consume the cow's milk or goat's milk or soya milk, you feel that the mucus production has increased. Why does this actually happen? Milk is liquid and lipid combination. That's how it is. When it is acted upon by the salivary mucins, that needs to a thick viscid liquid. So that emulsification, sometimes it gets difficult to swallow, and people feel that it is the mucus which has increased. This mucin formation and the flocculation varies from person to person, and that's the reason some people feel that the mucus production is very high, and some others feel that there is no mucus production with the consumption of milk. See, this result is same whether you consume the cow's milk, goat's milk or soya milk. Results are the same. Now, some serious issues, like in people who are asthmatic and those who have real issues with cough. So many of them, or rather most of them, do feel that their situation gets worsened with milk. But the fact is, it's the milk allergy which can cause that. The milk allergy has probably a ratio of 1 in 10,000. Most of them do settle down by 2 years of age. It's unlikely that the milk allergy stays beyond that. And even among those kids who have milk allergy, 85% of them have skin rashes and associated problems. Only 30 to 40%, maybe up to 50%, come out with cough as the predominant symptom. But majority of them have a predominant symptom of rash and not the cough, even among those people who have real milk allergy. So to conclude, what have we understood from this entire video? Milk certainly makes you feel that the saliva is thicker, which makes you feel that the mucus is harder to swallow. But the true milk allergy and its associated problems are far lesser than what you actually think. Milk being an important source of calories, nutrition and calcium, it's imperative for everybody to take milk and associated products and not to get bogged down about the mucus, cough and phlegm. So this has to be firmly reaffirmed among all the healthcare givers who would rather give this message to everybody across the population, saying that okay, milk does not increase the mucus and cough. It's more of a myth than a fact. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel and share this as much as possible because this is important.